No sighting yet on a Monterey County jail inmate who walked off the grounds. It's been more than 26 hours on the run.
But we are getting word from his mother.
It sounds to me more like Monterey County Hotel, not Monterey County Jail.
It's not the first time inmate James Rimby's escaped, and his mom has had enough. The exclusive story coming up in 6 minutes. It's 5 o'clock. Let's go.
Now in high definition. Central Coast News right now.
All right, if you thought it was feeling chilly outside, you haven't felt anything yet. We are set up for one of the coldest weekends of the season. Freeze warning for tonight, 30s for the areas in pink down to the 20s. Southern Salinas Valley. I'll have your forecast in just a little bit. First, let's get to today's top headlines. Jazz, over to you.
So new information on yet another school shooting, this time close to home. A 16-year-old student flown to a hospital listed in critical condition tonight after being shot inside his high school classroom in Central California. The suspect is a 16-year-old fellow student at Taft Union High School, and that's about 2 hours from Los Angeles. I'm Jazz. This is Mark.
While little information is coming in about who this gunman is, we are learning more about what unfolded inside of those halls this morning. Well, police say the gunman came late to school carrying a shotgun. He then went into one of his classes and shot a student. He tried shooting another until an unarmed teacher talked him into surrendering. Here's what we know. Police say the suspected shooter was armed with about 20 rounds of ammunition and specifically targeted the student he shot. One teacher was hit in the head by a shotgun pellet but was not seriously injured. Now, the chilling thing in all of this, school officials say that teachers attended a safety drill less than 2 hours before this shooting occurred. Here's what students had to say.
Kid was just saying, I'm only looking for this person, just one person. And that kid kind of popped his head up behind where he was hiding and said, I'm sorry. And he just kept saying, I'm sorry.
We kind of heard a gunshot, but it wasn't really loud. And then we heard screaming. And then our teacher just told us to get underneath desks.
About 900 students go to the school, which is in Kern County. Reports just coming in say that it may have happened on the second floor of the school's science building. No word yet on the motive.
Now, this comes on the same day Vice President Joe Biden said he'll deliver new proposals to prevent gun violence to the president by next Tuesday. Biden spent the day looking for middle ground with gun owners and the country's most powerful gun lobbying group, the National Rifle Association. And that task is nothing short of difficult. The White House is looking to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. For
more insight on the gun control debate and today's shooting at Taft High School, we are joined by retired FBI agent Dan Payne. Dan, good to see you. This student, again, did not use an assault rifle, but rather a shotgun. Does that trigger anything for you?
Yes, it did. A shotgun's a very deadly weapon, but it's not part of the assault weapons ban. It is not traditionally considered an assault weapon.
And you've worked on so many cases. Can I ask you what's next? I mean, are we talking about a solution here?
Well, the solution here probably would be better security at the high school, because if this had happened in the street and not on a school setting, it probably would have been just considered another shooting. But because of the school setting, it reemphasizes the need for a heightened campus security and maybe close a lot of campuses, so students just can't walk on armed with a shoulder type weapon.
Sure, and that debate, of course, will continue. Dan Payne, thanks for the insight. We appreciate it. And on that note, the shooting in California comes less than a month since the tragic shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Connecticut, which sparked local schools to evaluate their security measures.
That's right. For example, we want to start on the Monterey Peninsula. As we take you there, this is where some schools actually put up fences and set new alarms to help keep schools safe. Even the Monterey County Office of Education said it will be discussing its safety policies this month, but the superintendent told us security is a moving target, and they will never be done with increasing advancements in better technology or ideas.
All right, up north in Santa Cruz, sheriff deputies are increasing their presence at different campuses so parents and students feel safe. Deputies, in fact, are visiting elementary schools across the area to interact with children and have them get used to the idea of officers being in the area.
Some new information on this inmate on the run while the search continues for him after he escaped from the Monterey County Jail yesterday afternoon. We're learning more about 29-year-old James Rimby's past. It turns out he's a repeat offender when it comes to escaping, and this according to his mother, who spoke to Central Coast News today about the flaws with the county jail system. Central Coast News reporter Ricardo Navarro sat down exclusively with this woman who says the sheriff's department's security isn't paying attention.
Lockdown at the Monterey County Jail. It was just after 2 Wednesday when inmate James Rimby, who was part of a work crew, walked right out the back door.
And they said, we're on lockdown, and I said, well, yeah, you're on lockdown because my son just walked out of there.
And Rimby's mom said it's not the first time.
I think they need to take a better look at their history. Do you really think that somebody who has left is not going to leave again? Are you kidding me?
Last June, while being transported from a Bay Area rehab center, Rimby jumped out of the transport van and took off across Highway 101. He was on the run for a month before police found him. This time, he escaped directly from the jail. Witnesses last saw Rimby here at the Constitution soccer fields. Deputies and Salinas police actively searched the area for hours, but they were unable to find him. Sheriff Commander Lisa Nash said Rimby doesn't have a violent past and had the approval to be in a work crew.
Unfortunately, these things can happen periodically, but we do take a good look at them and learn and move forward for the next time.
But Rimby's mom said with his drug problem, he has a tendency to want to run to get that next fix. And the jail needs to do a better job keeping him where he belongs.
He hasn't contacted me. I'm sure he knows Mom's not too happy right now. Yeah. I would like him to contact me so that I can pick him up.
I'm Ricardo Navarro in Salinas, your Central Coast News.
So anyone with information on where James Rimby could be is asked to call police. And we're posting this information on our website, KIONrightnow.com.
A pay down on debt, more money for schools, and even a surplus. It is here in our Digital Operations Center where we watched as Governor Jerry Brown released his $97 billion budget for the new year. Let's break it down this evening in a quick fact check. The governor said the budget will give California an $850 million surplus following several years of massive debt. Brown also wants to redistribute school funds so more money goes to poorer schools and those with more English language learners. It gives public state colleges an extra $250 million as well. And it's official. President Obama signed a bill to create the first national park on the Central Coast. We are talking about the Pinnacles outside Soledad. Of course, it's a story that we've been following since last year. So now the 26,000 acres are being upgraded from a monument to a park. The Pinnacles is now joining 59 other parks in the nation and 9 in California. We checked in with local businesses who say that it could boost their bottom line as more people come to visit. Take the Grand Canyon, for example. It was not highly respected as a national monument, but today, of course, it's an icon. The Grand Canyon brings more than 4 million visitors every year. Pinnacles currently gets roughly 393,000 people a year.
Time to talk weather. Here in the Weather Center now with our forecaster, Brianna Bermansola. And Brianna, this weekend could be the coldest one of the season so far. And I see already things popping up on the radar.
We're on tap to be the coldest of the season, and that's because of the temperatures dropping overnight. Not a lot of daytime heating. You can see the showers are diminishing that we saw from earlier today. A little bit of snow still over the higher elevations for the Santa Lucia Mountains. Freeze warning for tonight. This goes in effect 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. We're going to see those 20s and 30s. And let's see and put this in perspective what we're talking about here. 39 degrees last night. For tonight, we're on tap to be 30 degrees. Overnight low in Salinas. Watsonville down to 32. Monterey, a low temp of 35. King City going from 37 last night to 28 degrees tonight, below the freezing mark. And we will continue to watch this for you and let you know just how breezy we're going to get as well. Jasmine?
All right, so as we look toward more frigid temperatures here, places in the Santa Cruz Mountains already experienced icy roads, even some snow from the overnight drop. Our news reporter Marissa Pendergrass joins us live after exploring the mountains today. Marissa, what'd you find?
Hey Jazz, right now I'm out at Westcliff Drive in Santa Cruz, where over this shoulder surfers are enjoying some decent waves, but over this shoulder I was up earlier in the Santa Cruz Mountains checking to see if there was any snow yet, and I was near Highway 9 and Big Old Trees Road where I didn't see any, but there was a little water on the ground from the rain. The Santa Cruz Sheriff's Department says that they're not expecting any snow tonight, but they're ready if we do get any. They have four-wheel drive vehicles with chains on them, and they also get information directly from Caltrans and from the Public Works Department if anything changes. They say the last time we had any decent snow up in Santa Cruz Mountains was a few years ago in the Boulder Creek area. So if anything changes, though, they say they are prepared. Jazz?
Yeah, I was actually on that story a few years ago covering that. Families throwing snowballs. It was fun. But yeah, no snow tonight. All right, thanks, Marissa. Well, we're going to be watching the weather in Santa Cruz, of course, but take a look at the mountains around Salinas. Snow on top of Mount Toro this morning. And again, there could be more on the way, possibly. All right, Mark.
All right, thanks, Jazz. Now to new information on this Target sign in Capitola. It has really been a bullseye for controversy since the day it opened its doors last summer. Despite the new store bringing in about 300 jobs to the area, neighbors were upset over the bright red sign and loud noise from the trucks that are coming through. And it seems after all this, they got their way. Target has agreed to turn off the lights overnight. In fact, they flew in top executives from the East Coast to announce the news. They had originally put on dimmers and even offered to add panels to the sign to make it less bright. Neighbors had held meetings and received 70 online signatures for a petition to make the changes.
So we know it's Wednesday, but we have some good news for you for Manhunt Monday. Salinas police say they've arrested Cesar Villalobos after being featured just this Monday. Police say a relative of Villalobos saw him on the news and convinced him to turn himself in. Villalobos was wanted on charges of burglary and resisting arrest involving an incident at the Salinas Kmart. To see the others featured, though, on Manhunt Monday, head to KIONrightnow.com. Click the link at the top of the homepage.
All right, right now, more local news. We told you last year about a local doctor who works with the Moss Landing Marine Lab that has a Hollywood connection. Jim Harvey was called out to the northern tip of Alaska to help 3 gray whales trapped in ice. Now, the true story with a Central Coast connection became that major motion picture as The Big Miracle, starring Drew Barrymore. And on that note, this next story could be a big miracle. A dozen killer whales trapped under sea ice in Canada now seem to be free.
And locals, just like the Big Miracle, they were planning a rescue operation before they managed to escape on their own. So let's take the video full here. Time was about to run out after they were trapped for 2 days, but the wind shifted and opened a passage for the whales. Now the Canadian Department of Fisheries and Oceans is trying to locate them by helicopter.
Well, our weather forecaster, Brianna Berman-Solo, is with us this week because Chief Meteorologist Norm Hoffman has gone back to school, sort of.
So you know teachers are constantly taking classes to learn the latest, cutting-edge information in their field. Well, that is what Norm's doing this week. He's up in Lake Tahoe, so he can bring all of that knowledge back here to us and teach us.
A great idea. So, Norm, you are with some of the greatest meteorology minds around. What is the main focus right now?
Well, the new focus is we're talking about water supply for the state of California, and 35% of the water supply in the state is in the form of snow. And that snow is stored in the mountains of California.
How does that snow taste?
And scientists today are saying that the snowfall is lighter than normal and it's melting earlier than normal, which means reservoirs fill up earlier and it's more difficult. Our reservoir system was built many years ago to store the snow that runs off in the springtime. So they're saying it's going to be a difficult years ahead as we manage the water supply.
So really, Norm, it doesn't matter how that snow tastes. Yeah, bigger discussion here. And we also hear forest fires are a big topic.
Yeah, they have showed an interesting slide today where the forest fire activity has increased, and we all know we've seen more devastating fires recently. So with the snow melting earlier, that means drier fuel in the Sierras and the mountains, and basically that means more forest fires.
All right, pretty cool. I know it's busy up there, lots to learn, but also I know you'll wax them up and get on the slope. Thanks, Norm.
That's right.
Central Coast News has created TV news that can now travel with you by launching one of the nation's first 24/7 mobile local news channels. Central Coast News 24/7 allows you to see local news anytime from your smartphone or tablet. Start watching right now by downloading the free SyncBack app for your iPhone or Droid. Want more information? Visit KIONRightNow.com. More news coming your way in just 2 minutes. You're watching Central Coast News with Mark and Jazz.
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about the cold temperatures tonight, but it was also a breezy day on the Central Coast. Highest wind gusts in Ben Lomond, 20 miles per hour, 17 miles per hour in Watsonville. We recorded 29 miles per hour in Salinas and 30 miles per hour for Pebble Beach. So a breezy day today. Temps tonight anywhere from the 40s and 50s for our current temperatures. 50 Monterey down to 42 in King City. Those temps are going to drop for one of the coolest mornings tomorrow we've seen all season. Freeze warning for tonight. Lows in the 20s and 30s. Partly cloudy for our Friday with cool and breezy conditions. Saturday morning, the coldest of the season. Let's take a look at what's going on. This cold front that pushed through California is leaving cold air behind it with some of those elements like clouds and the light showers that we saw earlier for today. Snow in some of the higher elevations above 3,500 feet. You can see we are drying out though across much of California, and if we zoom into the Central Coast, we are drying out here as well, just picking up a few light showers. Those will diminish into the evening hours, drying out for a cold evening ahead. 29 Gilroy, the low temp, 31 Santa Cruz, most spots below the freezing mark, 35 Monterey, 31 Salinas, and 28 degrees will be the low temp King City. 30s and 40s overnight across the state, 29 the exception here in Sacramento, 39 Monterey, and 39 Palm Springs. Tomorrow, not a lot of daytime heating, 40s and 50s for California, 47 Sacramento, 52 Monterey, and 57 will be the high temp in Palm Springs. Here on the Central Coast, another cool day on tap, 50 Gilroy, a high of 51 in Santa Cruz, and 50 in King City. Carmel, you're looking at a high of 50 degrees, 48 Big Sur, 50 in Soledad, and 49 Bradley. Cool for our Friday, and we're looking at partly cloudy skies. 50 will be the high temp. Those overnight lows in the 30s at the coast. We will see 50s as we look ahead into the weekend. Into next week, starting to warm up just a bit as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. We'll see those overnight lows warm up as well. Inland spots, that's where we're getting chilly with the freeze warning. Here we've got 28 degrees tonight, 27 on average for tomorrow night. We'll see those daytime highs in the 50s with partly cloudy to mostly sunny skies. More sunshine by the start of next week with a little bit warmer conditions for Wednesday and Thursday. Stay with us. More news ahead in just 2 minutes.
This is Central Coast News, now in high definition.
An older couple is in extremely critical condition tonight after being pulled from their burning home outside Los Angeles today. The fire broke out at their home this morning near an elementary school in Boyle Heights. While the specific cause of this fire is under investigation, firefighters found a dried out Christmas tree in the living room. More news in California right now, and staying near Los Angeles. Beefed up security at one school really paid off just a day after it began.
Oh, big time. Officer Daniel Chavez is being called a hero after arresting a man with a gun who was running down the street outside the school just as class was letting out. Police say the man has gang connections. The department is deploying, cops to every elementary school in Los Angeles at least once a day. Officer Chavez says he was just doing his job. The pathology report for San Diego native Junior Seau shows the former Pro Bowler had a degenerative brain disease. Researchers at the National Institutes of Health completed the exam after he committed suicide last May. Seau is one of 34 former pro players and 9 who only played football in college to be diagnosed with this disease.
So some Fresno homeowners who just were trying to get rid of some bugs ended up blowing up part of their house. Take a look. Firefighters responded yesterday to the house fire and found the garage door and windows had been blown out. The homeowner had set off a bug bomb but didn't turn off all the open flames inside the home, and that set off the explosion.
You know what? The warnings are right on them. They're a very common device used, and many times they can be used improperly with an ignition source close by.
Okay, so luckily no one was injured and the house did not suffer any serious damage. The nominations for this year's Academy Awards are released, but the ceremony isn't until February 24th. Still, we know the movie Lincoln leads the pack with 12 Oscar nominations.
Still need to see this one. In fact, Daniel Day-Lewis, who plays the 16th president, was nominated for Best Actor, and director Steven Spielberg also got a nomination. Life of Pi came in second with 11 nominations. Les Miserables also up for Best Picture. Also worth noting here, Emmanuelle Riva, who stars in Armor, or Amor, the movie, is the oldest actress ever to get a Best Actress nomination.
So a researcher at UC Santa Barbara is getting an Oscar for technical achievement. Theodore Kim helped create a new smoke and fire visual effects technique for the 2011 summer blockbuster Super 8. Along with other Oscar winners like Avatar and Alice in Wonderland, Kim worked with 3 former colleagues on this technique. Big congratulations. He's going to receive the award February 9th.
In a health alert now, the nationwide flu outbreak, it takes a dangerous turn in Boston. In fact, the mayor has now declared a state of emergency in his city. 18 people across the state have died from the flu in recent weeks. And this map, it shows you the widespread outbreak. 41 states in total are seeing intense flu cases. That's about 5 weeks earlier than what's normally expected. You can see California is not in the dark red, and that is good.
Let's get to your money. Stocks rallied today. The Dow closed up 81 points, ending the day at 13,471. The Nasdaq went up 16 points, closing the trading day at 3,122. A rise in weekly unemployment claims does not seem to be a drag on the market. Applications for jobless benefits rose last week by 4,000 to a 5-week high. Still, analysts say overall the reports show slow but consistent gains in the job market. Look at this loopy signature. It could soon show up on all new U.S. dollar bills. That's if Congress confirms Jack Lew as the next Treasury Secretary. But there's no word on whether President Obama will ask Lew to work on his penmanship.
I like it. I think it's okay. Meantime, the makers of Monopoly are holding a Facebook contest for fans of the game to vote for a new token. But here's the thing, Monopoly will get rid of an old game piece. The new choices include a diamond ring, guitar, and helicopter. All 8 of the old pieces are up for elimination. The new version of the game, it comes out later this year.
So we are asking you on Facebook tonight to sound off on the Monopoly change, and also, when was the last time you played a good old board game? Laura Albrecht said, to answer the last question, we played 4 to 5 board games with our kids just on Sunday. Dale Eggett said, why do we need to get rid of any of those, referring to the Monopoly game?
Pulling up a comment from Byron and Marilyn Inductivo saying, in regard to Monopoly, that's an iconic game. Why change the tradition? It's un-American for Hasbro to do this. Many more comments there. Join the conversation. I think I'd go, though, for the helicopter. That's mine.
I like, see,
you
I like
probably
to
the
keep
diamond
it,
ring.
Well, yes, but I also like to keep it classic.
We'll see what they choose. Imagine a day when all of your gadgets can talk to each other. Your phone will control your television and your computer can run your gaming device.
I can't keep up. This is all happening at the annual Consumer Electronics Show going on right now in Las Vegas. So that vision is becoming more of a reality. It's one of the biggest trends on the show floor. Gadgets that can talk to each other. A big TV trend this year, improvements in smart TV technology. For example, your TV could recognize what show you would want to watch even before you select it.
Amazing stuff. A lion on the run in Virginia. Why it turned out to be more silly than scary.
But the video is something you'll definitely want to stick around for. Stay with us.
After seeing this running around town, what would you do? Well, it was all bark, no bite. The frantic calls to 911 came into Virginia dispatchers reporting a baby lion on the loose. It turns out this lion was a Labradoodle. That is a lab and a poodle mix. Now, the owner of Charles the Monarch shaved the dog to represent the lion mascot at a nearby university.
That's pretty good.
I say nice job on the grooming because it worked. Closer to home now after our sneak peek last night at 10. It's now official.
Look, he's cute. The most famous cub around made his public debut today at the San Diego Zoo. Now, before this, giant panda cub, Sholi Wu, he had been visible to the public only via the zoo's panda cam. Zoo officials warn his mother is a little protective, so viewing opportunities might be short or even interrupted.
You can't blame her.
Central Coast News back at 6. We'll see you then.